Happy Friday, 6th grade. Today we will be working on how to create professional-looking diagrams on a 2D drawing platform such as Google Drawing. One of the best features, I believe, of Google Drawing is that you have these little squares in the background. So you can use those squares to determine the scale for your drawing. For example, if I were to click up here and choose a text box and draw it in, I could then say 1 square equals 1/16 inch. Okay, so if I do that, now I know every time that I have a line going over 1 square, I know it's 1/16 of an inch long. Now normally in engineering and science we use the metric system. However, this particular engineering challenge put the rule out there that your paperclip needs to be no bigger than 2 inches. Therefore, if they're going to talk in inches, we can talk in inches. All right, so that being said, that's a simple way to add text boxes in. Now notice that's probably going to come in really handy since we are creating a diagram, not just a drawing, okay? And so knowing how to put text boxes in and indicate those is really important. Also, if you want your text box to stand out at all, that's where you can put those borders and lines in, okay? So right now I don't really have a border. If I want it to be 3 points, I can keep it black or whatever. I could even fill my box with a color so that that pops out. Okay, so it's really simple to make your text boxes stand out, which is a good thing when you want your important information to be highlighted. Now here's the reality though. Okay, that's a text box. How in the world can I go about drawing a paperclip? Well, as far as drawing a paperclip goes, there's a lot of different line features. And so when you get your lines, you have a lot of different opportunities. If you just want a straight line, turns out a straight line is really easy to create. And so you draw it until you want it, and there you go. Now here's the thing though that's important, is sometimes you want a straight line to have other features. So at the line start, you might want it to have an arrow or a dot, for example. Ooh, at the line start, I want a dot because I don't want sharp edges, so I'm going to have wax at the end of my paperclip. Are you seeing my point here? At the line end, you can choose a different feature, so it doesn't have to be the same. And so you can affect your lines in different ways. Now, if you click on your drawing platform, and it's going to draw a line for you, don't stress about that. Then you just say delete. When you no longer want lines to pop up randomly, go to your cursor, and then at that point, lines won't pop back up. Okay, so that's one type of line. There's an arrow line, so you don't have to tell it that you want the end to be an arrow every time. So if, for example, this was a text box telling me some important information, I could draw it from my text box and point to wherever I want to talk about something. And now my arrow is indicating, hey, this text is about this feature. So that's going to be really helpful on, again, a diagram. Sometimes the arrows are really skinny, so I highly recommend using a bigger weight of your line just so that the arrows pop out. Now again, since this text box does not relate to that, I don't want that arrow there, so I'm going to click and I'm going to delete. All right, again, other line features coming back. We have our elbow connectors. To do an elbow connector, what you do is you simply click and then it will give you an elbow, but also then you can make it different and bigger. If you come at the yellow point, you can change where the connector is, okay? And so this is just an easy way, again, to connect text boxes, or if this is a shape that you want for your paperclip, that's what they mean when they say elbow connector, okay? So another type of line we have is our curved connector. So you can literally click and drag if you don't release, and you can kind of see what kind of sizes you have. And so if you want a curvy paperclip, this might be a good line for you to start with. And then again, you'll have that yellow part, so you can change the curve. So if you want it to be a nice steep curve, you can do that, or you can come to the yellow and affect it the other way. So as you can see, your curve connector gives you a little bit of freedom there. All right. Now there's also just the curve. So when you do a curve, you can click and drag to one point and then curve where you want, and click and drag again, and then curve and click. So every time you click, it allows you to make a curvy line. So it turns out for paperclips, this is a really useful feature. When you're done curving, you've got to go and click back on your, oops, that was a mistake. Hold on. Sorry. So again, if you click, every time you click, you have that opportunity to curve, making the opportunity to make nice rounded curves really easy. But then when you want to be done, you just simply double click and it's finished, okay? Now, if you double click and it goes to another line, then go click on your cursor. And so now this allows me the opportunity to increase or decrease the size as needed. Since I've already indicated a scale, that might be really important. Okay, and so that's an option there. Don't worry, you can always change the color of your lines. You can always change the line weight. You can even, change the way that it looks. So there's lots of opportunities there. So there is also the polyline, which means that you're going to be able to make a polygon. So again, every time you click, it allows you to change your curve, and then you double click when you're done. Okay, and so that's what they mean by polyline, is you're literally making a polygon. And then there's the scribble, where you're literally just drawing. Okay, now a lot of students like this because they're like, oh, I'm a really great drawer. However, I do want you to look and see that a lot of times the scribble, the freehand drawing, doesn't look as professional. So if there are other tools you can use, I highly encourage you to use them, such as the shapes tool. Okay, and so there are so many different shapes that we can use that will really benefit you and can get you the initial shape that you might want. And so please check out the shapes tools, as they have a tremendous amount of options to begin with, and then you can add to or revise them. So again, shapes tools are fantastic. May find exactly what you want if you use them. You can change the size, you can change the font, all of the things. So don't hesitate to use our shapes tools and our line features to make your drawings look more professional. Once you have a drawing the way that you want it, in order to make it a diagram, you're of course going to talk about your drawing and share its special features, what materials it's made of, and the dimensions that it is. And so to do that, you're going to be able to create text boxes, and you will talk about the important features in these text boxes. And then, because we don't want the text boxes to seem as if they're randomly floating around, we will also choose a line and we'll connect it to whatever important feature we are talking about. And then I can say, look, I'm clearly talking about this important feature, this blank blue wall. Okay, so once you are happy with the look of your diagram, which would be 1 to 2 views of your paperclip, and some text boxes to tell me about dimensions, materials, and cool important features of your paperclip, then you can go ahead and turn it in, okay? So I have made a template for you, so you should simply just be able to click turn in on the assignment. Now when you're working on the diagram for your whole group though, please remember to share it with every group member so that everyone can partake in this. Once you have a diagram on your Google Drawing and you're creating your slides presentation, you'll be able to just insert your drawing into your slide presentation, and so that'll be really cool. So good luck. I look forward to seeing your amazing creations.